You ever have one of those times in life where you're just like, damn, I need to partially reinvent myself or change some things up just in order to heal and move forward and set some momentum for myself? Because if you're unfamiliar with the chaos that has ensued in my life in the last few months, I have plenty of vlogs that you can catch up on. Things can always go wrong in life. We can have things thrown at us that we weren't expecting, but there's always a way to refocus, reset, and just continue. And I wanted to create a video all around that. I know I've touched on things like this in the past, and I was really, really intentional when I was setting new goals and new trajectories and new habits for myself this time around, that I took note of everything that I did so that I could create a worksheet for you. If you don't have it already, I do have the Phoenix formula, which is my Notion template you can use, and I like to use that to structure a lot of my life. I asked myself some new questions this time, and I thought, let's just put together a worksheet. Before we get too deep into it, I just want to quickly thank today's video sponsor, which is Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website builder and host, and you can use them to easily put together a website for your band, your brand, your portfolio, your e-commerce store, whatever it is. If you want it on the web, they have beautiful templates, a really, really intuitive Fluid Engine editor, so you can just drag and drop and put things where you want them, and you can customize everything to suit your branding. On top of this, they also have 24/7 customer support service, which I have used many a time when I have messed something up on my website, and I've been using them to host my website for almost a decade now, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. If you would like to give it a go, you can jump in, you can set up a free trial, see how it works, have a little explore before you actually hit publish. And when you are ready to publish your website, use the link that I put on the screen or in the bio, and that will give you a discount off your first purchase. First thing we are going to do, and I think this is going to be a really, really important one, is because we need some level of dissatisfaction in order to make change. Like when you're feeling calm, content, cruisy, when everything's super good and easy, you're not really going to be desiring like massive, massive shifts in your life. And I think when we are at that point where we are unsettled and we are unhappy and we do want to create something different, we need to specifically sit down and almost like inventory what we're not happy with. And I broke this down into 3 categories: patterns to break, tasks to avoid, and conflicts to resolve. Firstly, let's tackle those patterns. So I want you to take a moment to reflect on your daily routines and your daily behaviors, and have a think if there are any recurring habits that leave you feeling really stuck and unfulfilled. Whether this is something as simple as you get up in the morning and you don't make your bed, but you want to be someone who makes their bed, or it's something as complex as you have stressful days at work and you get home and you emotionally eat or you stress eat as a way to unwind and relax. It doesn't matter how simple or complex it is. If it's something that annoys you, write it down. Maybe it's hitting snooze on your alarm too many times. Maybe it's spending too much time on Instagram comparing yourself to other people. Whatever it is, I just want you to get it out of your head and onto the paper. Next, we want to consider tasks. Specifically, are there tasks that drain your energy? This is something I've always been a little bit mindful of, and I didn't realize why I was mindful of it until I got my autism diagnosis, and I was like, okay, well, that makes sense that I've had to pay such careful attention to what drains or ignites my energy, and I have to be really, really careful with where I spend my energy, because if I do too many draining tasks too close together, I'm wiped, and I can be wiped for like weeks at a time. Have a think if there are any chores, any projects, any tasks that consistently leave you feeling overwhelmed. Obviously, some of them, if they're part of your job, that is going to be trickier to navigate, and that is a discussion that you may need to have with a superior at work, or figure out another way to manage your energy at your job. But let's speak about the things that are within your control. This could be things like saying yes to every task that comes across your desk. It could be even just like ignoring self-care, unwinding rituals because you feel guilty for taking that time for yourself. The way that I did this is I really took my time, and I started on a Sunday morning, because I start my work weeks on a Sunday. I have Fridays, Saturdays off, but I started on a Sunday morning. I opened a new notes in my iPhone, and I tracked every single thing that I did that week. Every single thing. Cooking my meals, doing my laundry, responding to client notes, writing blog posts, writing emails, whatever it might be. I wrote down every single thing, and then I went through and I marked down what are the things that I personally need to touch. What are the things that my voice, my effort, my energy, whatever it is that I personally need to do and I cannot offhand to anyone else. And then I went through the list and I said, are there things that I don't enjoy or that are massive energy drainers? And are they able to be delegated to someone else? My new place is a lot smaller, so it's a lot easier to take care of. But I remember in the last place that I was living, it was so much bigger. So I had cleaners come through, because for me, I would rather have my energy and effort going into my clients and spending a little bit of extra time doing work rather than spending a little bit of extra time doing house maintenance stuff. So for me, it made sense to have a cleaner come in. In my new place, smaller, doesn't need that, but like that's just an example of a way you can delegate in the household rather than work. And now let's address any underlying conflicts that need resolution. Are there any lingering tensions in your relationships? Or any unresolved issues that are weighing on your mind, because we're going to carry these things with us and we're going to bear that weight, you know? And now is the time to address them head on. What's interesting is when I was doing this, something that came up for me was obviously the way that my last relationship ended. I could not address this. I had, oh, can you see toast? I had no way to get that closure there. So I had to create the closure for myself. So don't feel bad if that's something that you have to do, if you like actually cannot reach out to this person, or if you know it's too toxic to reach out to this person, or perhaps there's just some other thing preventing your communication with them. Don't feel like you have to speak to the person directly to get that closure. You can create closure on your own. 2 is creating clarity of vision. This is really, really important because it's like, what do you see for yourself? And then I want you to explain to yourself why that's important, because essentially this vision that we construct for ourselves is going to filter every single decision that we make on a daily basis. Like if you see yourself as someone who says, I'm lazy, I don't go to the gym, I don't work out, it's going to feel really damn hard to get to the gym. The shift that I made recently, like I feel like a few months ago, I was always wearing like cool sporty like track pants and just like shirts and stuff, because I was like, oh, I have so much trouble finding things that fit my figure because my hips and my waist are a very different size, and then my shoulders are really quite big, and I was just like, oh, it's so hard to find clothes, and I just couldn't be bothered. And you know, it was kind of casual style, but I, you know, if you followed me forever, you know I like to dress up a little bit. And recently I was just like, screw it, like I want to be someone who when people see me walking down the street, they go, oh my god, that chick has like really cool style. I want to be someone who always looks put together, because I know for me, I feel so much better when I wake up, I get ready for the day, and then, oh my god, like if one of my friends is like, let's go for lunch, I can just go out straight away when I'm on my work break. If I want to film something for Instagram, I can just pick up the camera and film. Like for me, it just removes a lot of barriers in my day when I get up, get ready, and make myself feel good, make myself look good. And so having like one of my visions for myself is I want to be someone who is like put together and has like quite a glamorous look about her. And now to the point where I'm doing this more subconsciously, I'm picking my outfit and I go, what's gonna make me feel really good when I wear it? Is it overdressed? Maybe. Who cares? I don't care, because I feel cool when I wear it. And that's just obviously more of like a shallow example of it. You can do this with other parts of your vision as well. So, you know, seeing yourself as a person who prioritizes their health, seeing as yourself as a person who prioritizes their education. And there are so many elements of our life that if you tell yourself you care about it, it will feel so much easier to make the small decisions each day that are going to lead you to that long-term result. So you can do this with like a vision board. You can do this with just setting some mantras. You can write a list, whatever it is, like something to help you define specifically what that vision is for yourself. And I do this on my Phoenix formula template. So I just made like a new copy of it and I just like put that in there, but I've left space for it on the worksheet for you. Step 3, when we're trying to build a life that we really, really love, to set ourselves up on that trajectory of like really achieving big goals for ourselves, we need a defining purpose. This is like your mission. This is your driving force behind everything that you do. Is different from your values and your vision for yourself. A moment to reflect on what truly matters to you. What fills you with passion? What fills you with purpose? And your mission is then going to be a reflection of your deepest values and desires. You know, and the way the world is set up now, the way careers are, the way social media is, the way, like, I just feel like everywhere you look, there's distractions. It is so easy to be distracted. It is so easy to be pulled off your path and be tempted by something that's not really for you, that doesn't really align with you. So to stay true to your mission, you need to, 1, know what it is, and then 2, be able to recognize the distractions that don't line up with what that mission is that you have for yourself. We can automate these things too. Like I know for me, I always love getting good quality sleep. So my phone goes into do not disturb at a certain time automatically. My lights will dim automatically. I set up automatic things in my life to make these steps easier, because otherwise I'm tempted to stay up late, and that doesn't line up with my vision, that doesn't line up with my values, that doesn't line up with my purpose. So maybe for you, it's procrastination that pops up, like you know you have things that you need to do and you just can't get it done. I'm not talking about executive functioning here, I'm talking about just like procrastination in general. Maybe it's social media scrolling, maybe it's consistently beating yourself down with negative self-talk. I want you to be vigilant, recognize that these are distractions, and refocus on what matters. This is why a lot of the girls in my coaching program, they come out so much stronger, because we do so much mental work on this stuff, on like how to recognize what is a distraction, how to recognize what is pulling you away from who you want to be, and then really, really hone in on that ideal version of yourself, because it just like it pulls all the other habits into alignment so easily. And step 4, we're going to analyze your influences and your habits. Ideally, we want to be around people who uplift us and challenge us in a positive way. And so it's up to you to curate an environment that fosters your development, that mirrors your ambitions, or at least complements them in a nice way. And I know we can't control every single person that comes into our life. So then what you can do is create a subset of people who are influencing you, whether it's your closest friends or the family members that you speak to the most. Keep an eye on who is it that uplifts you, who actually pushes you to become a better version of yourself, who encourages you and genuinely wants the best for you in your life. These are the people to keep close. Now that we've established all these, we can actually dive into the proper goal setting. Don't set too many. Just set a couple that you focus on at any one time. And as you move through this, I want to remind you to be adaptable, to be flexible, to not expect perfection. Like changing habits, I say this to my clients all the time, changing habits is not like a light switch where it's just on or off. It's more like a dimmer. We just change the intensity over time. Like if you're someone who deals with stress eating, you're not suddenly going to stop and never do it again. It's more likely that you do it less and a little bit less and a little bit less, and then you'll only do it occasionally when a certain trigger pops up for you. And that's fine. That's how we want to make these changes. It takes a long time to break old patterns and to put new ones in place. Give yourself the compassion of having flexibility, of not expecting that extreme level of perfection, because when we demand that perfection from ourselves, it's so easy to want to drop everything and to feel discouraged when you don't retain such a high level. Like remember that 70% is better than 0. Anyway, I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into how my mind works, how I like to restructure things. I'm hoping I explained it in an actionable way, and I hope the worksheet is helpful for you. Again, if you haven't seen it yet, you can find my Phoenix formula, and that has like a full life roadmap on it for you. If you just want something free, I have the download in the description box for you there. Act like you deserve to take care of yourself, because you do. Pay attention to where your time goes. Pay attention to where your energy goes. If you really, really want something to change, you can make that happen.